Alright, this portion of our show I'm going to be talking about the Avengers Infinity. Now, this book is really good because I believe that they're going to take a lot of pieces from the book and then incorporate into the movie. Now, it's not 100% sure. Of course, I'm not about that. But I do know they're going to use just tiny little things. Now, if they did use a lot of stuff from the book in the movie, that would be forever awesome. But here's why. Now, in this book, this is basically, Iron Man wakes up and he talks to Captain America. And he's basically telling him about how things have changed, and then just how, at a point in time, the only thing they had to worry about was just some mad scientists trying to take over the world or trying to brainwash people. Things are different now. He realizes that the threats are so much greater. And one of those threats, obviously being Thanos, someone who can, has an entire army in space that has taken over planets. He's destroyed things. He's a solid threat, and Tony realizes this. So instead of Avengers just being humans and maybe a mutant here or there, he decides to go even further and mass recruit and make the Avengers more of a universal police force. So he talks to Captain America. So at this point in the comic book, Iron Man is basically recruiting from everywhere of the corner of the universe you can think of. He recruits former X-Men. He recruits people from the Tal Shiar, which is the alien race that the X-Men has, dealt with previously. He recruits mutants that haven't even been discovered by the X-Men or Brotherhood just yet. And he's doing this because he feels like it's just better, more numbers the better. And he's absolutely right, as you see as things progress in the book. And then going from him, the Avengers in this book, they're in the hard place. They're in the rock and a hard place because at one point you're dealing with Thanos, and then at another point you're also dealing with this team that's just ridiculous, and they're just getting finagled by these creatures called the Creators, which were based in the book responsible for at least like 90 or 80% of life in the Milky Way. Taking place, which, as you know, we are placed in the Milky Way. So they're supposed to be our gods, I guess you could say. So he's in a rock and a hard place. So while Iron Man is recruiting, Captain America is fighting this huge battle in space with these creatures, and he's just barely making it. And a lot of characters are dying. A lot of the recruits are dying. Planets are basically yielding to these creators, yielding to these creatures, because their technology is just so advanced. They just don't have an answer for anything that they have. And Captain America, he keeps fighting because that's who he is. But at a point in time in the book, he just kind of is like, he doesn't know what to do, because for every answer that he has, for every technique that he comes out with, they figure out a way to just stumble him or stop him and just mess up everything. So while he's doing his thing, then you have Thor trying to negotiate and recruit, or not just recruit, but more so rally all these alien planets and worlds. He tries to rally the Shi'ar. He tries to rally the Executioners from their planet. And he's basically like, he's doing his thing, and he's just being diplomatic, which is something I like seeing, because Thor is not the diplomatic type. He's more of, hit first and then ask questions later. But all the characters, just those three guys, pretty much changed how their approach was on things, because they know, they've been doing this for a while, and they know that you can't just rush in, beat the bad guy. You have to be smarter, because things are just more dangerous. And there's one of my favorite books in this series is called Bring the Thunder, because you see Thor get a chance to, step it up like he usually does, but then you see him outsmart someone and do it in a way that's very not like Thor. It's almost like Thor kind of tapped into something Loki would do, and that was a really good book. I don't want to spoil that for you. Now, Thanos at this point is really, he's a problem, because you're dealing with Thanos, you're dealing with the Creators, and on Thanos, and he's looking for his son, because as you know, he got married to Death, so him and Death had a child, and he feels that his son is a threat, which he is. His name is Thane. And he's basically going to Earth, and he's trying to conquer Wakanda. He's trying to, and every planet he goes to, he's basically like, look, I need you to kill 1,000 of your young as a tribute to me. Which is basically, it's a bullshit cover-up. He doesn't want anyone to kill 1,000 of their young from their continent or planet as a tribute to show him respect. He wants them to do that so he could potentially, in that 1,000 or what so, kill his offspring, kill his child, which would be heir to his throne. Which I don't think that's going to be in the movie. I'm really sure it's not, because for anyone who's been keeping up with Marvel, it's really going to be called the Infinity War. Not from the book, but from the previous book, where basically Thanos was going around collecting the Infinity Gems, collecting stones, so he can get that power glove and just be able to do whatever he wants to. Now, Hawkeye in Avengers 2, a lot of people are looking forward to his performance. I believe Jeremy Renner is going to do a really good job. I feel a lot of confidence in that movie because Kevin Feige is people don't notice, he's actually a comic book reader, and he's also a writer. He's done stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's had a little bit of help in Angel, and the interaction between the characters is one of his big bread and butters that he's had in TV, comic books, and now it's translated to the movies. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching the show. Like I always say, subscribe and like. Next week's going to be Adventures Weekend. Yeah! Oh my God! Calm down. Yes! Yes! It's calm. It's calm. There you go. All right. Not a movie. Relax. Anyways, woo, man. People are hyped for this thing. But you know what? Damn, it reminds me. Why? Because it's freaking Avengers Weekend, right? 2 people gonna come through with me. May 2nd, May 3rd. That's Saturday and Sunday. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to watch it. Make sure you put your name and information in the box so I can send this ticket to you. Okay? This is not a joke. This is Avengers freaking Weekend, right? So like I always say, live long and prosper. Have a good night.